All right, Kingsbury, not the only one with high praise for Bill Belichick. Here's what Andy Hart writes on WEEI.com on Bill Belichick's rebuild. Quote, even before we know how this already successful season ends in New England, we know for sure that Belichick has proven that he was far from some sort of bystander in Brady's sidecar for 20 years of winning in Super Bowl runs in New England. What Belichick has done rebuilding, rebooting, and rejuvenating the Patriots after just one season away from Brady is not only brilliant, it's more impressive than what his former quarterback did, joining a ready-made Super Bowl contender bursting with talent on both sides of the ball in Tampa. That's courtesy of WEEI.com. And lucky us, we've got Andy Hart right here to explain that in more detail. Because what Tom Brady did last year, Andy, and I said this at the time, I think that is in the argument, or that is in the conversation for his best season, period, because of the fact that he went to a new team, because he had to learn a new coaching staff, because he was essentially coaching the team and at times building the team. He wore all hats for Tampa Bay, and they won a Super Bowl in year one. So why is what Bill Belichick is doing more impressive to you?
Because I think if you look at it, we're talking about 10 months here where Bill's basically hit it out of the park. And you said wearing all hats. That's what Bill does in New England. Literally, I know we joked Tom was the GM bringing Fournette and AB to Tampa.
Half joking, yeah.
Half joking, you're right. Bill is the GM. He is the guy, and we can deal with collaborative efforts down the road, but he nailed the hell out of the draft. He spent money to the point where even his owner was acknowledging, we usually mock teams that try to rebuild their roster and spend this kind of money. And for the most part, it has all come together perfectly. And then you get to the season and the way he has managed his way through the slow start and the rookie quarterback and transitioning in that direction and the defense not being as good as expected early. I mean, he had to, I use the analogy in the piece, the old Bill Parcells. He had no recipe. He had no ingredients. He really had no idea what this was going to be. And he has come out with, I think, a tremendous meal. Whereas Brady, I think he looked at a really good team that was a 5,000-yard offense, had talent on both sides of the ball. He taught them how to win. I don't discount that. And these are both great accomplishments we could see in consecutive seasons. But Bill has also set up the Patriots not just for 2021, but 22, 23, 24. The future is bright because of everything he's done this year.
You sounded like LeBron James a little bit right there.
Not one,
not two, not three. Michael, noted Tom Brady fan, by the way. Well, respond.
I wish we were in a different format so that I could look Andy Hart in the eyes and just, say, "Are you okay?"
Don't even.
Because I am concerned about this, because we're talking about winning a Super Bowl versus being 9-4 in the beginning of December, which I think is a little bit crazy. And I would say it's rhetorical question time. Rhetorical question, my favorite time. What is the most hapless, useless, pathetic franchise in NFL history? The Tampa Bay Bucks. Which team won the Super Bowl last year? I mean, taking that team, going down there, and yes, there was talent with Mike Evans and whatnot, and Chris Godwin and everything, but getting the Tampa Bay Bucks to believe that they could win a Super Bowl game. Do you want rhetorical question number two? How many playoff games did the Tampa Bay Buccaneers win after their 2002 Super Bowl? Rhetorical answer, zero. Zero playoff games in the entirety of the Patriots dynasty since their first Super Bowl. And he went down there and won immediately. So now if Bill goes out and wins a Super Bowl this year, maybe we can have a little bit of a deeper comparison. But we're talking about the Patriots being 9-4, and they're exceeding expectations. We thought they'd be 10-7. They're going to end up being 11-6, 12-5. That's great. But we're talking about a team that was the Tampa Bay Buccaneers winning a Super Bowl in 1 year turnaround. I'm not sure you can match that, even if you are 10 Bill Belichicks in one.
Okay, I agree with you on one point. It's a little bit early for us to talk about this. I won't reprimand Andy for writing the article.
Yeah, geniuses are usually ahead of the curve.
Right, you're ahead of the curve.
Rhetorical questions work.
Congratulations to you. But I'm going to respond anyway, Andy. I'm going to say this. He doesn't have to win a Super Bowl, Bill Belichick, for this to be square. Right. He can prove, Andy's saying he's already proven it. I think if he gets into the postseason, they win a playoff game, if they're somehow the number one seed in this conference, you're starting to talk about the scoreboard being a little bit more equal. Hurley, let me ask you this. After going on your tirade there, is Bill Belichick not Coach of the Year? Would you give him a Coach of the Year? And I'm going to follow up a little bit later with another award.
My answer's a little, it kind of sucks the meaning out, but I mean, who cares? The man is the best coach ever, maybe, or one of three, and he has 3 Coach of the Year awards. So it's really not that important. I think, he deserves it as, sort of a cap on what he's done and being able to if they win the conference, yes, absolutely. That's not, if they give it to Kingsbury, who cares? But certainly, yes, he deserves it.
Andy?
Yeah, I think he deserves Coach of the Year. I would actually argue, and I hope I'm not stepping on your question.
No, go for it.
He's better as an executive this year. I think he absolutely hit it out of the ballpark as an executive in the draft in terms of a franchise quarterback, which changes everything, but also getting a guy that I'm starting to hear Richard Seymour and Christian Barmore like comparisons, like 01, like maybe you put the foundation for both sides of the ball together in one offseason. So, yeah, I don't worry as much about the Coach of the Year award because, I mean, that Kingsbury's already bowing down to him like he's Sean McDermott.
But does he deserve it? Does he deserve it?
But he deserves it every year. Kingsbury's right. So is he the best coach in football basically every year? I mean, when I was at Patriots.com, Patriots Football Weekly, I literally feel like we had this discussion every year. Is this Bill's best year coaching? Is this his best year? All the injuries, the offensive line, or Brady, or the receivers, or the super. Like, there was always a reason it was his best year because for every single season, he's the best coach out there. And we saw, I mean, how about we go back a couple days and just look at the competition? Sean McDermott, that was the guy that was supposed to be a really good coach, right? Supposed to be like a Super Bowl contending coach. Bill pantses him. He embarrasses him in his own building.
If there ever was a year, though, I understand. I get it. He's been a good coach every single year. He's been a great coach every single year. He is the greatest coach of all time. We understand that. Mm-hmm. But if ever there was a year that he should get it, it should be this one. It's a little different this year, guys. I don't know if you've noticed. The entire roster is turned over. They have starters on both sides of the ball that nobody has ever watched play before this year. The quarterback is new, and he's a rookie, and they're winning in different ways that would buck the trends of the quote-unquote modern game. He is doing things this year that he has not done other years. So I would not say who cares. I would say if ever there were a year for him to win it, it would be this one.
I think he also fulfills what is sort of the annual criteria and takes a non-playoff team, a bad team, and turns it into one of the best teams in football. And coming off of last year with Cam Newton, they were a non-playoff team, a sub-500 team. Now they're going to be well above 500. They could be the number one seed in the conference. They're going back to the playoffs, first place. That is the usual measuring stick that I think the media generally uses. So, yeah, he fulfills it more this year than almost any year in his career because he never had the opportunity to come off a bad season before.
I'd also add in, I wonder how much Monday night's game, where it's such a high-profile game and such a unique coaching decision that I don't know how many coaches in the NFL have the wherewithal to go through with that over the course of 60 minutes to just not throw the football. I wonder if that high profile at that moment and where it put them factors in. And Andy, you did mention, let's just hope this. I mean, we're talking Super Bowl. It's crazy and everything. Let's hope we get another Sean McVay, Bill Belichick pregame moment with Cliff Kingsbury there, because that was, you want to talk about pantsing. I mean, McVay pantsed himself in that Super Bowl. They were very nice khakis, don't get me wrong, but man, Kingsbury there, what's going to happen in their pregame meeting if that were to happen? Like, Bill, you were just the best. Though he does have a very smooth voice. That was incredible. Barry White.
You guys poo-pooed my question to start this thing. You both clearly warmed up to it, and we had a great time. So thank you for doing that.